Old Thomas Whitfield had kept the lighthouse on Ravens Point for 32 years. Every single night, without fail, he climbed the 200 wooden steps to light the great lamp through rain, through snow, through storms that shook the very stones beneath his feet. The lighthouse stood alone on a jagged cliff, facing the endless gray Atlantic. Fishermen in the nearby village said Thomas talked to the sea more than he talked to people. Perhaps that was true. But every sailor who passed Ravens Point owed their safe passage to that steady, patient light. Thomas's son, Daniel, grew up in the shadow of that lighthouse. As a boy, he loved climbing the stairs with his father, counting each step, watching the lamp come alive at dusk like a captured star. But as Daniel grew older, the lighthouse began to feel less like magic and more like a prison. "Father, ships have radios now," Daniel said one evening, folding shirts into a worn leather suitcase. "Modern boats don't need your old lamp anymore. The whole world is moving forward, and you're still climbing the same 200 steps like it's 1890. Thomas said nothing for a long moment. He simply looked out at the darkening sea, the way he always did before lighting the lamp. "The lamp isn't for the ships that already know where they're going, son," he finally said, his voice calm and unhurried. "It's for the one captain, on the one terrible night, who is lost and has nowhere else to look. You cannot radio a light into someone's heart, Daniel. Some things the old ways still do best." Daniel didn't understand. He left for Boston the next morning, chasing a life of tall buildings, busy streets, and easy money. He wrote letters at first, then fewer letters, then, eventually, none at all. Years slipped by like water through fingers. Thomas grew older. His hands trembled more each winter, and the 200 steps grew steeper with every passing year. Still, every single night, without fail, he climbed them. The village doctor urged him to retire. "Thomas, you're 71 years old. Let the young Coleman boy take over the lighthouse." Thomas only shook his head. "As long as there's breath in me, I'll climb those stairs. A promise isn't a promise if you keep it only when it's easy." Then came the storm of 1931, the worst storm in a generation. It arrived without warning on a moonless October night, tearing roofs from houses, uprooting century-old oaks, and turning the calm harbor into a churning, furious beast. The sea rose like a wall of black glass, swallowing everything in its path. That night, far out past the safety of the harbor, a young fishing captain named Edwin Marsh fought for his life. His small vessel, the Mary Alice, had been caught far from shore when the storm struck. His radio had gone dead within the first hour. His compass spun uselessly, betrayed by the storm's violent magnetism. Waves crashed over the bow again and again, and his crew of 4 men huddled together, soaked to the bone, whispering prayers into the howling wind. Edwin had never felt fear like this. He was utterly, hopelessly lost, no stars to guide him, no coastline visible, nothing but black water in every direction, and the terrible certainty that dawn might never come for any of them. Then, through the driving rain, he saw it. A light. Faint at first, then steadier. Cutting through the chaos like a promise. Someone, somewhere, refused to break Thomas's lamp. "There!" Edwin screamed over the wind, pointing with a shaking arm. "Turn toward the light. Turn now." With everything the little boat had left, Edwin steered toward that steady beam. The waves fought him at every turn, but the light never wavered, never dimmed. Never once left them in darkness. Up in his tower, Thomas Whitfield stood at the glass, hands raw and frozen, feeding the flame through winds that threatened to tear the very lighthouse from its foundation. By the first gray light of dawn, all 5 men stumbled onto the rocky shore below Ravens Point, soaked, shaking, exhausted, but alive. Every single one of them. Alive. Word of the rescue spread through the coastal towns within days, and eventually reached all the way to Boston. Daniel read the newspaper article with trembling hands, his father's name printed beside words like hero and saved 5 lives in historic storm. Something inside Daniel broke open that morning, not with sadness, but with shame he hadn't expected, and beneath it, something that felt almost like awe. He returned to Ravens Point that winter, stepping off the train into air that smelled exactly as he remembered: salt, pine, and cold stone. He found his father. Exactly where he always was, exactly where he had always been, climbing those same worn steps, lamp oil in hand, moving a little slower than before but no less determined. "Father," Daniel said, his voice breaking as he reached the top of the stairs. "I didn't understand. I thought your life here was small. I thought I was the one who had gone out into the world to matter. But you were never small. You were the one thing standing between hope and the dark, for 5 men who had nowhere else to look." Thomas placed a weathered, trembling hand on his son's shoulder, the way he used to when Daniel was small enough to be lifted onto those broad shoulders. "Every life has a lamp to keep, Daniel," he said softly. "Some keep it for ships passing in the night. Some keep it for a family waiting at home. Some keep it for a single soul, somewhere out there in the dark, who simply needs one small light to follow. Find yours, son, and once you find it, never let it go out." Daniel stayed at Ravens Point that winter. And the winter after that. Together. Father and son climbed those 200 steps, every single night, side by side. A small, faithful light kept burning against the dark, ready once again for the one lost soul who might, one stormy night, need it more than anything else in the world.